When you cross the quiet line into your 60s, something subtle yet powerful begins to unfold. The world does not announce it. There are no signs, no ceremonies, no warnings. But slowly, you begin to notice that the familiar rhythms of your life are shifting. The faces you once saw daily now appear only occasionally. The phone rings less. The gatherings grow quieter. You are still loved, still valued, but something has changed. The truth is, life after 60 is not just about getting older. It is about realizing that the pillars you once leaned on, your children, your old friendships, your youthful energy, no longer carry the same weight they used to. That realization, while not always painful, can be deeply sobering. You may have spent your entire adult life providing for others, being the strong one, the responsible one, the anchor of your family. But now, the tides have shifted. Your children have their own families. Your friends are scattered across states or no longer here. Your schedule, once dictated by work, now stretches open with long, silent hours. In that stillness, you may begin to wonder, who is truly here for me now? What can I count on when life becomes uncertain? Many people at this stage still believe that family will be the enduring foundation. And while the love is there, life is complex. Adult children juggle careers, bills, raising their own kids. They care, yes, but their time is limited, their energy stretched. You may find yourself needing help at a moment when no one is available. That is not abandonment. That is reality. And unless you prepare for that reality, it can feel like a betrayal. But it is not. It is simply the evolution of life. This is the timer right now to pause and ask yourself some essential questions. What truly supports me in this phase of life? Where can I find strength that does not depend on others showing up? Who am I, now that I am no longer defined by roles I held for decades? These are not just philosophical questions. They are practical ones. Because if you do not rebuild your foundation deliberately, wisely you risk drifting into a vulnerable place where loneliness, financial stress, or declining health begin to dictate your days. But here is the truth, and it is a hopeful one. You have more power than you think. Life after 60 is not the beginning of the end. It is the start of a new chapter, one that you can write with clarity, strength, and independence. But you must know where to begin. You must identify what truly holds you up, not just emotionally, but practically. The years ahead can be vibrant, meaningful, and deeply satisfying, but only if you build your own pillars. In the next parts, we will explore 5 powerful sources of strength more reliable than any single relationship or promise. They are not abstract. They are real, tangible, and within your reach. And once you start nurturing them, something shifts. You no longer feel like you are waiting to be rescued. You begin to feel prepared, rooted, capable. And that is the kind of strength that no age can take away from you. So take a breath. This is not a goodbye to the past. It is a welcome to what comes next. A phase of life, not defined by what you have lost, but by what you are still capable of building. There comes a moment, often quiet and unnoticed, when you realize that the most dependable support in your life is no longer a person. It is not your children. It is not your siblings. It is not your oldest friend. It is the money you have saved, the income you can count on, and the financial decisions you made or did not make years ago. This realization can be humbling, sometimes even painful. But it is necessary. Because after 60, financial independence becomes not just a matter of comfort, it becomes a matter of dignity, of freedom, and of peace of mind. Many people enter their retirement years with the assumption that if things get tough, their children will help. Maybe they will. Maybe they will not. But counting on that is not a plan. It is a risk. Your children may care deeply, but they may also be drowning in their own financial responsibilities, mortgages, college tuition, medical bills, job instability. They may want to help but find themselves unable, and if you have not created a financial buffer for yourself, their inability becomes your crisis. Think of the man who worked hard his whole life, supported his kids through school, lent money when asked, and never said no. He thought, surely when I need them, they will be there. But when a medical emergency drained his savings, the help he expected was not there not because they did not love him, but because they simply could not afford to do more than care. This is not a failure of family. It is a failure of planning. Your financial pillar is not about being rich. It is about being ready. It is about having a steady income that covers more than just the basics. It is about knowing what you spend, what you owe, and what you are risking. It is about preparing for what might go wrong, so that when life surprises you, you are not left scrambling or dependent. Start by asking yourself, do I have enough set aside for a major health expense? Do I know exactly what I spend each month? Do I understand how inflation, taxes, and market changes might affect my retirement income? Have I reviewed my insurance, my will, my beneficiaries? If any of these questions make you pause, do not wait for a crisis to get answers. Start now. It is never too late to take control. You do not need to do it alone. There are advisors, nonprofit resources, even trusted community groups that can help you make sense of your situation. But what matters is that you take the first step. Create a budget that reflects reality, not hope. Cut what you no longer need. Protect what matters most. Learn the basics of investing if you do not already know them. And do not shy away from hard decisions. They are often the most liberating ones. Because when your finances are in order, something changes inside you. You walk taller. You breathe easier. You sleep better. You stop waiting for help to come and start realizing that you are your own best safety net. That kind of security cannot be overstated. It is not cold or selfish. It is wise. It is responsible. And it is one of the greatest gifts you can give your future self. After 60, real support means knowing that your bills are paid, your future is planned, and your lifestyle is sustainable. It means not having to ask anyone for help unless you choose to. That kind of independence is not just practical, it is empowering, and it allows you to live with a quiet confidence, knowing that no matter what comes, you are prepared. There is a truth that grows louder with every passing year, even if we try to ignore it. After 60, your body is no longer just a vessel. It becomes your most loyal ally, your heaviest burden. You may have the wisdom of a lifetime, a secure bank account, a loving family. But if your body begins to fail, everything else becomes harder. And unlike finances or family dynamics, physical decline does not wait for permission. It happens day by day, silently, often without warning. The mistake many people make in their later years is assuming that health is something that can be outsourced. They imagine that if something goes wrong, someone will take care of them, a partner, a child, a caregiver. But this mindset is dangerous, because while others can support you, no one can carry the responsibility of your health except you. No one else can walk for you. No one else can choose what you put in your body. No one else feels the stiffness in your joints, the tightness in your chest, or the fatigue that creeps in faster than it used to. Your health is not a luxury. It is the foundation of your freedom. Without it, your world shrinks. Travel becomes harder. Social outings become tiring. Even getting up from a chair can feel like a chore. And the hardest part is that decline often feels slow until suddenly it is not. One fall, one diagnosis, one prolonged illness can shift your entire life into dependence. But it does not have to be that way. Not completely. While aging is inevitable, suffering is not. And neglect is not destiny. You have more control than you think. Even small changes, when done consistently, can restore vitality and protect your independence. Think about your current habits. How often do you move your body not to perform but to preserve? Do you stretch, walk, swim, dance, lift light weights, or simply make it a point to stand more and sit less? Movement is not about chasing youth. It is about maintaining function. It is about giving your joints lubrication, your heart strength, your muscles resilience. And food do you eat to comfort or to nourish? Every bite is a message to your body, telling it to heal or to struggle. Then there are the checkups you might be putting off, the pain you brush aside, the changes in energy or digestion that you pretend not to notice. These are not just inconveniences. They are signals. Your body is speaking, and the sooner you listen, the more options you have to act. Let us be honest. Starting a new routine at 60, 70, or beyond can feel daunting. But you do not need to train like an athlete. You need to show up for yourself every day in small ways that add up. Take the stairs, walk after meals, choose water over soda, add one vegetable to your plate, breathe deeply, sleep with intention. These actions are not dramatic, but over time they restore strength, clarity, and stamina. And the reward? You stay independent. You reduce your chances of hospitalization. You delay or even avoid needing long-term care. You remain in charge of your day, your decisions, your dignity. Because in the end, your body is not your enemy. It wants to heal. It wants to serve you well. But it needs your partnership. And when you treat your health as a sacred responsibility, not a background concern, something shifts. You feel more alive, more capable, more present. That is not just a benefit. That is the foundation of a good life. So ask yourself now, not in a crisis, but today, what small action can I take to honor this body that has carried me so far? The answer will not just add years to your life. It will add life to your years. When the noise of everyday responsibility fades and the rhythm of your life slows down, a new kind of silence emerges. For some, it is peaceful. For others, it feels like a question without an answer. After decades of being defined by roles parent, worker, partner, you may find yourself asking, who am I now? This question is not a crisis, it is an invitation. Because while the world may slow down around you, your spirit does not have to. Purpose, more than ever, becomes your inner compass. Too many people enter their later years believing that meaning is something reserved for the young, the employed, or the ambitious. They confuse retirement with retreat. But the truth is, you were not meant to simply exist. You were meant to contribute, to create, to connect. Purpose is not tied to a paycheck. It is not dependent on a title. It is the spark that gives each day direction. You can see this clearly in the lives of those who thrive after 60. They are not necessarily the wealthiest or the healthiest, but they are the ones who wake up with something to look forward to, a garden to tend, a child to mentor, a story to write, a skill to master. Purpose comes in many shapes. It can be quiet or loud. It can live in your hands, your voice, your service to others. What matters is that it makes you feel needed, useful, and alive. Think about a man who spent 40 years in a corporate job. When he retired, he felt lost. No more meetings, no more emails, no more reason to wear a tie. At first, it felt like freedom. Then it felt like emptiness. But then, he picked up a tool he had not used in Yershi's old camera. He began photographing his neighborhood, capturing moments others walked past. Soon, he was printing photos for community events, mentoring teens with the same curiosity he once had. His days were no longer empty. They were full of purpose. This is the power of engagement. When you have something to look forward to, your mind stays sharp, your mood stays steady. Your health even improves. Science confirms what wisdom has long known: those with a strong sense of purpose live longer, recover faster, and feel more satisfied in life. But finding purpose does not require a grand project. It begins with curiosity. What lights you up? What do you still want to learn, explore, or share? Purpose often hides in the things you once loved but set aside. The books you meant to read. The craft you started but never finished. The people you meant to reach out to. Go there. Follow that thread. It will lead you somewhere meaningful. And if you feel like nothing calls to you anymore, do not be discouraged. Purpose is not always immediate. Sometimes it reveals itself only after you take the first few steps into something new. Volunteer. Teach. Paint. Walk dogs at a shelter. Share your stories with younger generations. Attend a local class. These actions may seem small, but they open doors inside you that you forgot existed. Because purpose is not just about doing. It is about feeling alive. It is about knowing that your presence still matters, that you are part of something larger than yourself. It gives structure to your days, color to your experiences, and joy to your spirit. And it gives you resilience. When life throws a challenge, those with a strong sense of purpose bend but do not break. So if you have been drifting, waiting for something to reignite your inner flame, stop waiting. Choose, create, reconnect. Your best days are not behind you. They are inside you, waiting to be lived with intention. As we age, life asks us to let go of many things. Familiar roles, old routines, people we love. The pace of our days slows down, and change becomes a constant visitor. Some resist it, holding tight to what once was. Others learn to bend with the wind, not break beneath it. The difference lies not in circumstances, but in one quiet, powerful skill: emotional resilience. After 60, the trials of life do not end. They shift. You may find yourself facing loneliness, grief, health scares, or the feeling that the world is moving too fast without you. You may look around and feel forgotten or invisible. These are not signs of weakness. They are the natural weight of a long life. But what determines how heavy that weight feels is your ability to respond, to breathe through discomfort, to stay centered even when the ground moves beneath you. This kind of strength does not come from pretending everything is fine. It comes from facing what is real, from honoring your emotions without drowning in them. It means grieving when you need to, but not letting grief define your days. It means feeling fear, but taking action anyway. It means understanding that vulnerability is not the opposite of strength, it is where true strength is born. Think of a woman who spent 40 years beside the same partner. When he passed, her world shattered. Her children called, her friends visited, but the nights were long and quiet. At first, she tried to stay strong by staying busy. But one day, she sat with the silence, let herself cry, and began to write. She joined a grief group. She learned to meditate. Slowly, she found a quiet steadiness inside her. The sadness remained, but it no longer controlled her. She was not healed by others. She was strengthened by herself. Emotional resilience is not about always being upbeat. It is about learning how to ride the waves of life without letting them drown you. Journaling, prayer, walking in nature, speaking with a counselor, these are not signs of weakness. They are tools for living well. They help you process, release, and grow. And the more you grow emotionally, the less dependent you become on others to make you feel whole. And alongside resilience comes something just as important: adaptability. Life after 60 is full of surprises. Friends move, technology changes, bodies age, expectations shift. You can either resist these changes or choose to dance with them. Those who adapt do not cling to what used to be. They explore what can be. Take the man who always preferred in-person conversations. As his friends moved away and visits became rare, he felt alone. But rather than sink into isolation, he learned how to video call, joined online groups, and found new ways to connect. He did not deny the change. He adapted to it. And in doing so, he built a new kind of closeness zone, that was different, but still meaningful. Adaptability is the engine behind resilience. It keeps you moving forward when old paths are no longer available. It teaches you that every ending can be the start of something else. It reminds you that you are not done learning, growing, or becoming. As we close this journey, let us return to the beginning. Who do you count on after 60? The answer, it turns out, is not someone else. It is you, your financial preparation, your physical health, your friendships and sense of purpose, your emotional strength, your willingness to grow with change. These are the pillars that will carry you not because life is easy, but because you are ready. You do not need to wait for someone to show up and save you. You are already here. And with each day, you can make choices that protect your peace, fuel your growth, and remind you of your worth. This is not just aging. This is becoming. Not less, but more.